Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is a horse life update. This is going to involve Rose, Skyla, Boog, Kamani, and Scotchy. Boog's Rose and Skyla's owner. So, about 3 days ago, today is Monday the 26th. So 3 days ago today, Boog's owner and I kind of got into it. He owes me hay until April, which I'm not sure if I'm going to get. So I used my check and just bought 2 tons of hay and hand loaded and unloaded that. That was fun. Anyways, so I have hay just in case things go wrong, just in case you guys skip through the video. Anyways, so Boog's owner wanted to go camping. And I asked him, when are you getting Boog? You said back in like August, September, you were going to come get him. It's 14 degrees right now outside. It's 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. Like, I have to go out throughout the night if I'm up in breakwater troughs. And I'm not going to take care of Boog through the winter without being paid, because we have a broken hot water heater, which means we have no hot water. And we don't have a heater in our house right now, so we're using miniature heaters. So our hose is frozen, because the freeze kind of came overnight and we didn't get a chance to thaw out the hoses. Normally I would put them in a bathtub and de-thaw them, but we don't have hot water. So we're going to have to boil water and do it the old-fashioned way. But my point is that it's going to be a hard winter for us to take care of the horses due to not having hot water. And anyways, so we were running low on hay. And so I said, we need some hay. We're down to about 5 bales. He goes, I'll have my son bring it. I said, no, your son is not allowed here. So quick update, when I had my teeth pulled, I think I might have told you guys, I ended up in the hospital that night because of severe dehydration, could hardly walk. That's a different story. His son has brought hay before. You know, I've been training his horses for free for 5.5 years. He knows where the hay goes. Well, I couldn't get the gate open. It's an old cattleman's gate. Sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes it's really rough to open. And so I couldn't get the gate to open. And he goes, well, you have time. And I go, I just got out of the hospital. I just had surgery the day before and had 2 teeth removed and was under actual anesthesia. So it was considered surgery. And you can open it because I can't. So he stacked it on the opposite side of the hay where the horses eat. So the horses were stuck in the round pen until I had to move 13 bales by myself. Yeah, it's about 10 feet, but, you know, I just had surgery and just got out of the hospital. The second time he brought hay, he brings it and he throws it in where it goes. And my dad and I were standing out there. Well, there's that barrel with everything, my medication, my brushes, emergency equipment, right there. He was throwing the bales so hard that it was knocking everything down. And he didn't stack it. And all my dad did was say, hey, are you going to stack it like you guys have for the last 5.5 years? And the kid goes, well, he's not even a kid. He's like in his 30s. I'm 24 and I have more respect, but whatever. He goes, and like speeds out and kicks up dirt and rocks in our faces. And like 5 minutes later, my dad and I are like stacking the hay, picking up the mess that he made. And he texts me, I don't know who your mother effing friend thinks he is to tell me what to do. And then he just like went off on me paragraph after paragraph. I don't remember what it all said. And I said, don't ever come back here again. Don't call my dad another effer. And you're no longer allowed on property. So that's why I told him his son couldn't bring the hay. He thinks it's because he wouldn't stack it. Stacking it was part of the thing because they've been doing it for 5.5 years. And now all of a sudden they don't want to stack it. And the other reason was the disrespect and peeling out. So we got into it. And he goes, well, you don't work. You don't have a job. I go, my personal life has absolutely nothing to do with you. I am not your family. I am not your friend. Long from your friend. He is emotionally abusive for the last 5.5 years. And people may say, well, why'd you train his horses? I trained his horses for free. Well, for 5.5 years, for 1 year. Hey, if I even get it. And for the experience, and I don't think I would ever do it again. I don't even know if he paid me if I would do it again, just because the emotional abuse is so bad. Well, long story short, out of the blue 3 days ago, I wake up to my dogs barking, freaking out. And I look out my window, and he's catching Boog and taking Boog. That's fine, that's his horse. What pissed me off is he didn't let me know the night ahead, so to just show up on somebody's property, even though your horse is there, you're not paying for board, you're not paying us, you're not doing anything. It would have been appreciated, you know. It's his horse, he can do whatever. I don't mind him doing that. It just would have been nice to have a heads up. And what really, really aggravated me was Kamani has been learning how to kiss, and she's getting spot on with it. So him and this other guy are in there trying to catch Boog. Well, of course, any young horse who's not used by most young horses who aren't used to being handled by somebody are going to be kind of like weary of them. Some are really friendly, and some are kind of like, you're not the person who works with me. I don't know who you are. Get away from me. And that's how Boog was being with his owner, which is kind of funny, but whatever. Anyways, so when he texted me about the job thing, I like blew up and told him like, leave me alone about that. That's not your business. And he's got this guy with him who I've never seen before. And I look out my window, and they're giving Kamani treats. Okay, they're treats that I give her, but the point is, you don't know my horse. Don't freaking feed her treats, because you don't know what she's allergic to, or if she has a specialty diet or a specialty health issue. That's why I don't go feed other people's horses without asking them. That's not the biggest deal. The biggest deal was she was taught to kiss. These guys don't know Kamani. So she's trying to kiss them. Like, because a treat equals you have to give a kiss to get a treat, or smile to get a treat. They're freaking slapping her on the face and going like that in her face. So after they left, I tried to pet her, and she's like that. Well, the whole time I'm out there talking, hey, JD, did you bring hay? He's not replying. The guy goes, yes, ma'am, he did. I go, okay, thank you for actually being nice. He goes, I don't think he can hear you. My mom comes out, and she's, 30 feet from the pasture. And he goes, oh, hey, my mom's name. And my mom goes, oh, hey, how are you? And he goes, I'm good, how are you? And I'm like, and he can't hear me. He's talking to my mom, being polite to my mom, and treating me like crap, because you know what? After 5.5 years, I finally stood up for myself and stood my ground and said, I am not taking the abuse anymore. So it took him like 15 minutes to catch Boog. I go in and I go to the bathroom, and I come out, and they have Boog in the trailer, and Kamani's freaking out, of course. And the guy loaded Boog, the guy who I don't know, and his owner, I guess, while I was in the bathroom. He's like a heavy, heavy, heavy man. Let's just leave it at that. He's pushing on Boog's butt, shoving him in, and Mom goes, well, JD, you need to watch what you're doing, because you're going to get kicked. Oh, what, did Keisha not fix his kicking issue? She goes, well, she did, but all horses kick. Like, it's a stressful situation for Boog. He's obviously afraid of his owner, because he doesn't know his owner. And here he is chasing him to catch him, and pushing him into a trailer and not taking time with him. That's what he did with Rose and I. I'm glad I didn't get trampled that day. And they got him in the trailer, but they couldn't get the bar shut. So JD is in there pushing on against Boog with the bar, and the guy's pulling Boog forward, and he's not moving. I literally walk out there, go, Boog, walk up. And he walked right up and the bar shut. I didn't get a thank you or nothing. They claim that they did that. Okay. So the long story short is that before they left, he wasn't talking to me, he was talking to my mom, but I was right there. He was still ignoring me and being incredibly disrespectful for a 70-something-year-old man. But whatever. He tells me that Rose, the one that was the paint mare that was in my intro before Kamani, that was growing up, one of my absolutely all-time favorite horses. She's like 5.5, 6 years old. They tell me that she got wrapped up in a barbed wire fence and wrapped up her leg. And I spent the whole day crying when I found this out, and I'm trying not to cry right now. She has a 50% chance to live, and she's like 6.5, something like that. And she's my favorite horse, and I wanted to buy her next year if he still had her for sale, and he's got Skyla for sale, and she might have a home, and that sucks because that's my mom's all-time favorite horse. And when you have that bond with a horse that you trained it for 3.5 years, you took care of it for 3.5 years, when it was injured, and they've owner wouldn't call the vet to figure out what to do, and you had to call the vet to figure out what to do because the owner was too cheap to get a vet out, and he, for 3.5 years, he wouldn't get a farrier out, and you had to learn how to do it. Riley! And you had to learn how to, use a rasp and shave down their hooves. You bond with that horse when you teach them tricks, and they absolutely love it. If you guys go back and watch that intro, Rose loved to rear. She has a 50% chance of living. My mom's trying to figure out what's going on. If she makes it, I might give my mom the money and have her buy her, because he's being incredibly disrespectful and rude still to me. And at least try if she makes it, because I absolutely love that horse. So for Scotchy and Kamani has been depressed the last 3 days. She's starting to come around. She's starting to get a little bit more playful. She's spunky. She's pinning her ears, swishing her tail, tossing her head, throwing a buck, actually playing and being spunky, but she didn't really leave the barn. And it got to where I was feeding them was so full of poop, you couldn't step without stepping in poop, because she wasn't leaving the barn. The only time she would leave the barn is to get a drink or to run up and down the fence line calling for Boog. So I think it was kind of traumatic for her, because these random people went in, waved at her face, took Boog, and loaded him up, and that was it. I think if they kind of had let her smell him before he left, she would have been a little bit more content, but that's just, human feelings probably getting in the way. As for Scotchy, he has to unfortunately stay in his paddock by himself because he escapes. We have panels all around, and he somehow got out. There's no broken chain, no broken panel. There was a panel kind of leaned, so he had to walk through and jump, I guess. And I put a board up in front of that. And as for Kamani, right now she's my only horse. I do plan on trying to buy Rose if she makes it. Guys, put her hands in the comments for Rose. And I doubt that'll happen. But I have no clue if I'm going to get the rest of my hay that our deal was. And although I did delete messages from that, so I can't take them to court for it because I am on a prepaid account, and from what I've been told, you can't go back and get the text messages from that kind of account, from what I've been told. So unfortunately, Kamani does have to stay in a pasture by herself, but she'll be fine, because if Rose doesn't make it, or if he doesn't allow me to buy Rose or Skyla next year, she's eventually going to have to learn to be a one horse for me, a single horse, because horses are extremely expensive. I just paid almost $500 for 2 tons of hay, and I still have to get another 2 tons because horses eat about 4 or 5 tons a year, depending on the area. Unfortunately, our grass is all gone, and it's mostly weeds, so next year she probably won't get the freedom of 15 acres on grazing. That's not my choice. If it was my choice, I would just chop off her mane, bag up her tail, and put her out and let her eat what she could, but it's not my pasture, so I can't do that. Right now, I'm staying up till midnight and going out and breaking the waters throughout the night so that they have water. But I just wanted to give you guys a horsey update. Sorry this video was so long, but yeah, I would say if you guys are looking for experience in the horse world and somebody offers for you to do it for free, don't do it. Charge them something, because they really take advantage of you if you don't. We've been boarding his horses for the last 7 years and training for the last 5.5. Well, I've been training for the last 5.5, the last 3 horses. And it's just the abuse and the constant nagging about my personal life, which is none of his business, is unnecessary and unimportant in his world. And the other thing that really pissed me off is he's always telling me, Keisha, plan your priorities straight. Okay, that's great advice, but he wanted to go hunting and send his kid out, who's incredibly disrespectful, just like him, to drop off hay. It's not just the stacking. Can I stack it? Absolutely. I just undid about 36 bales out of a bed of a pickup. up over a 6-foot stall wall from the bed of the pickup and restacked them all in there. I can absolutely do it. But the point is, they've been doing it for the last 5.5 years. You know, if they wanted to stop stacking it, they could have said that. Would completely understand. They have full-time jobs. They have things to do. It's not hard to communicate that. But to destroy property and be invasive in our personal lives and to send threatening and nasty text messages and destroy property and not fix it. I've said this once and I'll say it again. Right before Boog came, when Rose was still rideable, I took her along the 15 acres and I took a piece of hay string and marked every single area that needed to be either propped back up, rehammered into the ground, new wire needed to be up, tightened, stuff like that. And I spent 3 hours on horseback doing 15 acres, marking everything that their horses had broke that he needed to be fixed. I get a text while we're out of town one day saying that he fixed it. Great. So I get on Rose when we get back and I rewrote it. He didn't fix crap. Nothing at all he fixed. He goes, oh, there's hay string on it. I go, and I texted you saying the hay string was markers for you so you didn't have to look for it because it's bright red and bright blue hay string and those were the areas that needed to be fixed. Oh, I didn't know that. I texted you and you replied, okay, thank you. So yeah, you did know that. And we were galloping down the field and it was the middle of summer and there was high grass and he didn't fix anything, but there was a metal T-post on the ground that I didn't know, and Rose and I tripped over and almost went head over. So honestly, if you were to ask me if I would do it again, no. Nope, absolutely not. Not for him, at least. And now I know my self-worth, and now I know how to stand up for myself, and I won't wait 5.5 years to do it again. But when I get an update on Rose, I will let you guys know. But I wanted to say Boog's gone. I'm a little sad, but I'm also kind of happy just because Kamani is covered in bites all over her legs, all over her back, all over her face that are healing. He pushed her constantly off the hay. If I was out there trying to catch her or trying to work with her or trying to tack her up, I would either A, have to lock him up, or B, kind of kick some dirt and wave my hands at him. And he would kick out right beside me and almost kick me, and he would chase Kamani off, or the minute that I would turn Kamani loose, he would turn around and bite her. And whereas before, when they first met, he was really polite and playful, and if he ever went at her, after about 2 or 3 times, she kicked him in the ribs and put him in his place. So something happened in that hierarchy when he went out on pasture that made him high horse, which is fine. But I also don't like to see my horse all scarred up and bruised up and losing weight, and I have to overfeed because he's not allowing her to eat. And even when I overfeed, she's still, she's at a better weight now because I started feeding them both more rather than just her. But I mean, I miss him, but I don't miss the hassle of chasing him off, chasing him in the round pen to lock him up, trying to catch him to lock him up, and then taking him out of the round pen to take her to work in the round pen. It was too much. Anyways, so yeah, Boog's gone. Skyla may have another home. I don't really agree with it because it's been like 2 years since they've been worked with, and they were Greenbrook when they left, and he's selling them as broke horses, but I guess that puts a bad rep on his name, but it's not fair to the horse. Rose is severely injured and might die. That breaks my heart. And Kamani and the pony are doing well. Okay, well, I will update you guys when I know anything. I hope you watched this whole thing. I hope you did. If you watched this whole thing, comment Rose, the word Rose with a rose beside it, and a comment. Okay, bye.